Have you ever wondered how someone making $60,000 a year drives a brand new $80,000 truck? It is not because they can afford it, it's because they can afford the payment. And those are two completely different things. Take America's best-selling truck, a Ford F-150. The sticker says $65,000. 6 years later, after insurance, fuel, maintenance, registration, and depreciation, that $65,000 truck has cost you over $115,000. And even after selling it, you're still down nearly 90 grand. That is enough to buy a second brand new truck. And here's the crazy part. This is not the worst case. This is completely normal because dealerships do not sell you cars. They sell you monthly payments. And for decades, that has been the biggest illusion in the entire car business. I'm DC Roth from The Bureau, where we've educated more than 3 million people on money and markets here on YouTube. And over the past few weeks, I went down a rabbit hole to answer one simple question. What is the cheapest way to actually own a car in 2026? Is it buy or lease, gas or electric? Because I need one. So I modeled every single scenario I could think of, compared the depreciation, ran all financing plans, and somewhere along the way I realized I'd been asking an entirely wrong question. Let me show you why that matters with a quick example. Imagine I offer you two jobs. The first one pays $5,000 a month, the second pays $4,000. Of course, you take the first, obviously. But then I mentioned the first one comes with a 2-hour drive, $1,000 a month in travel, and expensive parking. Now suddenly it's a much worse deal. And cars work exactly the same way. The sticker price is only part of the story. So is the monthly payment. The real cost is hiding underneath. So back to that F-150. You put 20% down, $13,000, and finance the rest over 6 years at 6.7%. Your payment lands around $880 a month, and the first gut punch is that over $11,000 of that is pure interest. Now stack on the rest. At 15,000 miles a year, that truck burns over $3,000 of gas annually. That's before insurance, maintenance, and registration. And then the big one, the expense nobody of us ever gets a bill for, depreciation. You wake up, walk outside, and the truck is worth a little less than just yesterday. And over 6 years, that becomes the single biggest cost of the entire thing. Add it all up, and the $65,000 truck really cost you almost $89,000, even after you sold it. So the gas truck already costs way more than it looks. But what if there was a smarter option? A lot of people think electric is the answer. Of course, I went digging. And I also thought this is the loophole. Cheaper charging, less maintenance, and financing that a gas brand cannot touch. But is it really? To move these things, Rivian is subsidizing loans down to about 3% right now. On an $80,000 R1T, that is around $970 a month with under $6,000 in total interest. So almost free money. But one number completely changes the story, and it's not charging or financing, it's again depreciation. After 6 years, that truck is worth about $21,000. Almost $59,000 just evaporates before you have paid a single cent of interest. So your true 6-year cost is closer to $95,000. Overall, a gas truck rewards you for holding it and an electric one punishes you for it. So if buying is this messy, leasing has to be the smarter play, right? Here's the thing. For one of these trucks, leasing is a straight-up trap. For the other, it used to be genius until the rules changed. Lease the gas F-150 and you're renting the single fastest part of its depreciation, about $825 a month. Over 6 years, you spent nearly 100 grand and own nothing at the end. Buying still beats it by over $10,000. Now to the electric one. For years, you leased an EV for one reason. The $7,500 tax credit, which the leasing company claimed and passed straight to you. But that credit died on October 1st, 2025. So EV lease payments jumped instead of dropping. So that same R1T now leases for $1,179 a month, plus over $9,000 at signing, which is almost $130,000 over 6 years. Buying and holding it with brutal depreciation and everything comes out almost $34,000 cheaper. And by now you're probably thinking, cool, but you would never buy an $80,000 truck. Fair enough. Me as well. So I also ran every single scenario on the two cars America actually buys the most. First, the best-selling SUV in the country, the Toyota RAV4, which is now hybrid only. That's around $40,000. It barely loses value, about 25% in 5 years, so it keeps 3/4 of its money on resale. That is elite. Second, the best-selling EV in the country, the Tesla Model Y, around $45,000, which loses more than half its value in that same window. So the EV looks terrible again, but if we watch the dollars and not the percentage, That $80,000 Rivian lost almost 60 grand. This Model Y loses about 25, purely because it is a cheaper car. But even Americans' favorite EV still loses more value than America's favorite SUV. On pure resale, the hybrid clearly wins. And that's where it finally clicked for me, because there is no perfect lease or a perfect interest rate. It simply does not exist. The only real opportunity is letting somebody else pay the biggest bill of all, the depreciation. So instead of buying a brand new EV, I bought a used Tesla Model S from my dentist. True story. The car was still excellent, still has years of life left, and I skipped the new car depreciation entirely while my dentist decided to take it. And a 3-year-old R1T works the same way, about $54,000 with the first owner already down $26K. On the gas side, same thing. Buy something reliable, take the shortest loan you can stomach, and drive it into the ground. Now there is one place electric wins outright, and that is running costs. That gas truck burned over $18,000 in fuel across 6 years. Charging the electric one was about $7,000 and it barely needs maintenance. That is well over $11K back in your pocket, which is exactly why I bought an electric. But most importantly, before you sign anything, answer these 4 questions, and please answer them honestly. First, how long am I actually going to keep the car? Second, am I paying for features I'll probably stop caring about in 6 months? Third, who's taking the biggest depreciation hit, me or the previous owner? And fourth, when I add up everything, not just the monthly payment, can I genuinely afford it? Here's the simple rule to make sure you can buy the car. Take the payment and at least double it. Then keep your rent or mortgage, your bills, your debt, and the real car number all under 60% of your take-home pay. If it's doable, you can afford it. If not, you can't. In reality, you always need to focus on the total cost of ownership. And if you are buying gas, keep it as long as you reasonably can. If you're buying electric seriously, look at used. There is a reason the average car on American roads is now over 12 years old. And it's not that people are being cheap. Warren Buffett is worth over $100 billion and still drives the same Cadillac he bought over a decade ago. The richest people understand that a car is a depreciating asset, not a status symbol. Okay, now I want to hear from you. Are you team buy or team lease? Is it gas or electric? Please let me know your thoughts down below. And if you want to understand exactly how the buy now, pay later trap destroys people's finances, definitely check out our deep dive right over here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.